So how do you make loaves of bread without the use of a loaf tin or spending a fortune on the fancy proving baskets? Let's find out. So Stacey has asked how you can make a loaf bread if you don't have a loaf tin. Well, Stacey, there are two really simple ways that I can think of. The first one is to make a Vienna style shape, and I'll show you that in a second. And the other one is using a bowl, a saucepan, something like that. Maybe it's a casserole bowl and a tea towel. That's all you're going to need. Okay, let's show the easiest one first. Get yourself a bowl. It's about twice the size of the dough that you've made, and a tea towel. Clean tea towel, preferably without holes. Lay the tea towel over the top of the bowl. Take a little bit of flour and dust the top. Then take your dough, mold it round, however you want to do that, and then place it in the bowl, top side down, so you've got the seam at the top, and wait. That's it. And then I'll show you how to unload it later. Another really easy way of making a loaf without a tin is to make a Vienna or a torpedo style. The way you do that is you take a round or an oblong of dough, flip it over so that you've got the seam on the top. And you're going to squish it down with your fingers until you get sort of a squarish shape. And you fold in the size just a little bit. The reason you're doing that is you're trying to get an even, smooth, straight edge at each end. Then you take the top and just fold it over and push down and slightly away from you. Do the same thing and just keep on going. If you want to keep using your fingers, do. If you want to use your thumbs, do. And that's it. It's as simple as that. When you're molding it, remember that it is very much like when you're rolling a ball round and you're trying to stretch that surface skin, so to keep that nice and smooth on the top. You can use it like that because that's the way we would mold it to put in a tin. If you want to make more of a Vienna shape, you just roll out the sides so that it becomes peaky. And if you want to turn it into more of a rugby ball torpedo, you then flip it up so the seam is on the top, fold in the ends, make sure they're pressed in, put the seam on the bottom, and then you've got that shape. Easy as that. Now let that prove, covered with plastic, cut it, bake it, job done. So the first loaf is ready to go. The way you can tell it's ready is when you depress your finger into the skin and it bounces back. Not all the way, you still want a depression to be left in there. When you first mold it, when you press your finger in, it's going to spring right back and you're not going to really be able to see that you've left a mark. This way you can still see that there is a little bit of a depression there. That's when we want to go put it into the oven because we want it to almost look like it's ripping open. It's good. We need it to give that last little oven spring in there. We don't want it to exhaust itself before we put it into the oven. Ideally, you'd like to get some steam into the oven to be able to gelatinize that crust to get that nice shiny crust with the crackling and stuff on it. In most domestic ovens, that's not really going to be possible because as quickly as you put the steam in, it's going to escape. But in real terms, at home, it doesn't actually matter. Unless you're entering a competition or something or really trying to get pristine on it, I wouldn't worry about it. But you can make it look pretty and and decorate it with a sieve, or you can pinch your wife's tea strainer while she's not in the room and hope that she doesn't find out. The trick when you're scoring a loaf is to use a sharp knife. You do want it to be sharp. You can use a razor or a scalpel or anything like that. One of the other tricks to decorating is to ensure that rather than cutting straight into the loaf, you're doing it at really quite an angle. What you're trying to do is almost peel that skin off. What you're wanting it to do is when it hits the oven and it gets that oven spring, for that where you've scored it to peel back and you'll get what's called an ear. You can do it in one pass or two, it depends entirely on your knife. And then, there we go. And then that's going to go into the oven fairly quickly as soon as you've cut it. If you're like me, you're lucky enough to have a couple of stones out of night store heaters that I've got in the oven heating up. So they've got this beautiful hot heat punching up from the bottom to give a good oven spring as soon as the loaf goes in. I've just got a little disc here, slide the loaf on, and then I'm going to slide that in directly into the oven onto the stone because I've got it. If you haven't, try and put a tray in there or a couple of trays to get some good solid thickness of warmth that you're sliding the loaf onto. That's going to help getting that oven lift for you. So the second loaf is ready to go, and it's a simple process. All you need to do is unwrap the tea towel. In this case, I've got some reusable silicone paper. Greaseproof paper is absolutely fine. That just goes on top, and then something that you're going to slide the loaf off onto the hot trays or hot stones into the oven. That goes on top of it as well, and then grasping the whole lot in one movement, fluid but not overly quickly, up and over. Take the bowl off, and then gently peel away the tea towel. And you can see that that's ready to go. Again, I can cut it as I want to. In this case, I am going to make it a little bit more decorative with the flour, light dusting of flour on the top. And then in this case, I am going straight down simply because I can't get all the 4 angle cuts that I'm wanting to do. So just make a little hash sign on the top, hashtag on the top, and then that goes sliding into the oven. So there you go. We've just made 2 types of bread loaves, neither of which involve the use of a loaf tin. So Stacey, hopefully that's answered your question. If you've got any questions or queries, or there's something specific you'd like to see, please do let me know. But for now, I'm Kevin from Gilbert's Fine Food in sunny Dunedin, and I'll see you again next time.